Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Game Mechanics, and our topic for today is Blade Armor. In this video, I'll show you how it works and who you can counter with this item. Blade Armor is a special defense item made for enemies that use basic attacks. It has 70 physical defense and a unique attribute that reduces 20% critical damage. Yes, that's right. Aside from having the highest defense stat, Blade Armor can also lower the enemy's critical damage. Using the same defense, we can see critical damage is reduced with Blade Armor. But that's not all, because it also has a unique passive called Bladed Armor. When hit with a basic attack, Blade Armor will return 30% of the incoming damage to the enemy. As you can see, I'm receiving damage whenever I attack Layla. This return damage also applies to magic basic attacks. Examples are Kimi and Harley. They will receive damage if they do basic attacks on a hero with Blade Armor. Based on the description, the return damage is calculated before the damage reduction. It means even if I add more defense stats, the return damage won't go down. It will actually go up because the return damage can increase with your defense. So more physical defense will mean higher return damage. And we're not finished yet. There's also the slow effect each time you activate the return damage. That's 15% slow for every 1 second, perfect if you don't want to get chased. So it has high defense, critical damage reduction, slow effect, and return damage. Not bad, right? Now it's time to test the return damage. What do you think will happen if you hit multiple enemies with Blade Armor? On a melee hero, only 1 instance of return damage is applied, even though you're hitting multiple Blade Armor users. Even with Freya's extended range, only 1 return damage is applied. Now let's test it on ranged heroes that can hit multiple enemies with their basic attacks. Example is Beatrix with her grenade launcher. As you can see, she's getting hit with return damage 5 times. And the slow effect is also applied multiple times. Same for her shotgun weapon. Another hero is Claude. His ultimate is considered basic attack and it can hit multiple enemies at the same time. That slow can be dangerous for Claude, right? Next is Irithel and her ultimate. She becomes extremely slow when she hits multiple enemies using Blade Armor. Mia's first skill can also activate multiple instances of Blade Armor. So which heroes can you counter with Blade Armor? Well, since its focus is basic attacks and critical damage, it's only natural to use it against heroes with built-in critical skills. Example is Bruno, where his passive can give him 20% critical chance. Next is Sling, since his skills have basic attack properties, and it can also increase his critical chance. Lastly is also a passable Blade Armor counter. Her critical strikes, even though its true damage, can still be reduced because of Blade Armor's critical damage reduction. Here's a quick test. As you can see, the critical damage is lower with Blade Armor. But you have to remember that 70 physical defense is useless against true damage. Basically, you can use Blade Armor against heroes that rely on critical builds like Irithel, Mia, and Layla. Meanwhile, the slow effect of Blade Armor can be used against melee heroes that use basic attacks. Examples are Sun and Argus. They get slowed once they start attacking you. For heroes using Trinity build, you might need more than Blade Armor if you want to counter them. But it's a good start. So aside for defense, there are heroes who can use Blade Armor for offensive purposes. Number 1 is Beatrix. His passive skill plus Blade Armor's return damage and vengeance can easily kill any marksman with high attack speed. And he also has 2 taunt skills which are ideal in activating Blade Armor. Another one is Kacha, who has a passive skill that increases his physical defense when in low HP. That defense stats helps in increasing Blade Armor's return damage. And he also has a taunt skill similar to Beatrix. Next is Johnson because his passive shield and first skill damage can increase with physical defense. And then we have Edith with her ultimate that can convert defense into magic power. Since Blade Armor has high stats, it's pretty effective when in her ultimate form. Now let's do some more tests. Will a full stack Aldous kill himself if he punches an enemy with Blade Armor? As you can see, it's not enough. Even if you add attack items, the return damage is too low. Hellcurt's skill 2 has basic attack properties. And if you hit 5 enemies with blade armor, the return damage can be painful as well as the slow effect. However, if you're on the receiving end of blade armor, a bit of lifesteal can easily negate its return damage. Remember, blade armor is for basic attacks. If you have a skill-based enemy, it's better to use anti-cuirass instead. Last one is the trick when you're defending a tower and the enemy with blade armor is pushing. If you want the tower to hit the enemy, just do a basic attack on the enemy hero. As you can see, the tower changed target because I received damage from blade armor. The tower thought the enemy hero was being aggressive. You can follow up with a stun after the basic attack to prevent the enemy from retreating. And that's it for our game mechanics video. What other stuff would you like to be featured on the next episode? Share it in the comment section. That's all for this video. Stay safe and thank you for watching.